please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, time permitting, I will come back to the Lehman crisis and what ghosts we are still battling. But I want to look at India, the impact on India of the Lehman crisis. Some people in our series, Lehman Crisis 10 Years On, have looked at India's NPA crisis today as a sequel to the Lehman crisis, consequence of the exuberance which we did not recognize at that time. Would you say so?
Well, I think there are elements. I won't put the entire blame on Lehman. It is true that in 2007, 2008, we were essentially being driven in part by a very strong world economy. And because of the substantial growth in India, I think bankers were optimistic, promoters were optimistic. The last run of projects had worked very, very well. And so they started a whole new set of projects, and as is the tendency at these times, with more leverage, less equity, more optimism about the future, turns out the future wasn't as rosy as the past. So the crisis in the West played a part, but also to some extent in India itself, we had three rounds of fiscal stimulus after the crisis hit, which helped create the illusion that growth was still strong, while of course the underlying factors that drove growth had slowed considerably. Mm-hmm. And that also helped eventually slow down projects that were underway. And many of these projects from 2007, 2008, 2009 have slowed because of the overall slowness in the economy, plus of course a variety of other factors such as governance.
Oh, yes. We understand that the Estimates Committee, Parliament's Estimates Committee approached you to get your views on the causes and the causes of the NPAs and the way forward. And I believe that you have identified bankers' over-optimism as one reason, but also incompetence and corruption. How much would you worry that bankers may have been in cohorts with promoters?
Well, I think it's very hard to say without actually investigating in more detail. And my worry is we tend to look at one-off situations, a loan going bad. Well, bankers have to exercise business judgment. Mm-hmm. And if the overall economic environment is one of optimism, they get infected by that. The fact that a loan goes bad when it is made under such circumstances doesn't necessarily signify corruption or even incompetence. Mm. It could signify the general expectation is of strong growth. Mm. I don't think bankers should be faulted for that. The real problem comes, however, that when you have identified loans going bad, you should work very hard to either put them back on track or essentially get out if you can. Mm. That process hasn't worked well in India. The exuberance, the bad loans, that's something other countries have also experienced. But the cleanup, both by the bankers' side, as well as the support given by government agencies and so on, hasn't worked as effectively.